Welcome to Middle Class Matters, Business News in English from Dr. CMA Allegation, Hindenburg Report on Adani, Stock Manipulation and Accounting Fraud, read in full. Part number 14 continued. Worldwide Emerging Market Holdings Limited Services. At Worldwide Emerging Market Holdings Limited, we trade in services such as sale and delivery of an intangible product like a service between a producer and consumer. Also, we provide international trade in services taking place between a producer and consumer based in different countries or economies. We operate in various international trade in services via four modes of supply of the General Agreement on Trade in Services. 1. Cross-border trade, which is defined as delivery of service from the territory of one country into territory of other country. 2. Consumption abroad. This mode covers supply of service of one country to the service consumer of any other country. 3. Commercial presence, which covers services provided by a service supplier of one country in the territory of any other country. And presence of natural persons, which covers service provided by a service supplier of one country through the presence of natural persons in the territory of any other country. Universal Trade and Investments Limited. We operate in various international trade in services via four modes of supply of General Agreement on Trade in Services. 1. Cross-border trade, which is defined as delivery of service from the territory of one country into the territory of other country. Consumption abroad. This mode covers supply of a service of one country to the service consumer of another country. Commercial presence, which covers services provided by service supplier of one country in the territory of any other country. And the presence of natural persons, which covers services provided by a service supplier of one country through a person of natural presence in the territory of any other country. Vinod's LibreNet network of shells appears to serve several functions, including shuffling losses into private entities to boost reported earnings and serpentantly moving money to prop up entities in the group. This dynamic is best illustrated through several examples. Money in Transaction 1. Karnal Trade and Investment, one of Vinod Adani's Mauritius entities, lent INR 11.71 billion, US dollar 253 million at the time to an Adani private entity without disclosure that it was a related party loan. The Adani private entity lent INR 9.84 billion, US dollar 138 million at more present substantially lower exchange rates to Adani Enterprises, an Adani listed company. In many instances, once money flows into Adani controlled entities, it then flows in other Adani Group private unlisted entities. Sometimes offshore money controlled by Adani family members travels through multiple entities before reaching publicly listed companies. One example is Karnal Trade and Investment, Karnal. Mauritius corporate record shows that directors of Karnal are 1. Vinod Adani, the brother of Gautam Adani, and 2. Subir Mitra, the CEO of the Adani Private Family Investment Office. Information about Karnal Trade and Investment Private Limited. Name Karnal Trade and Investments Private Limited. Nature Private, incorporated on 4th October 2005. Category Global. Subcategory Global Business Category 1. Type Limited by shares. Status Live. Registered office address Mohabi, Mongoor Street, Trust Ring House, Floral, Mauritius. Office address Director Vinod Adani Shantilal. 26/3/2017. Director Mitra Subir 11/7/2021. Same address as the company. Karnal has no physical address or phone number listed other than its corporate register. We found no employees on LinkedIn nor any web mention of the entity's operations except its own vague website. Karnal's website provides nonsensical explanations for its supposed business activities, such as offer services such as sale and delivery of an intangible product between a producer and consumer. Karnal Trade and Investment Limited. At Karnal Trade and Investment Private Limited, we offer services such as sale and delivery of an intangible product between a producer and consumer. Source: Karnal Trade website. Despite the lack of signs of genuine operations between financial years 2009 and 2010, Karnal lent INR 11.71 billion, US dollar 253 million to an Adani private entity focused on real estate named Sun Bond Developers Private Limited, Sun Bonds financial records. Despite the related party nature of the loan, Karnal is simply described as being a limited company incorporated in Mauritius in Sun Bonds filings, with no apparent disclosure of it being a related party. After previously being funded by Karnal in 2020, Sun Bond lent INR 9.84 billion, US dollar 138 million to Adani Enterprises, an Adani listed entity, in a disclosed related party transaction. The net result is that Vinod Adani's funds, with no discernible business behind them, found their way through an actual operating Adani private entity to show up on the balance sheet of publicly listed Adani Enterprises. We have no way to know how Karnal had $250 million US dollars to lend. Karnal doesn't advertise lending services on its website. The entire transaction bears red flags of money laundering. Money in Transaction 2. Emerging Market Investment DMCC, a UAE entity with no obvious signs of operations, lent US dollar 1 billion to an Adani Power subsidiary as of March 2022. One of the suspicious Vinod Adani's companies we identified was referenced in Adani Power's disclosed related party transactions. Emerging Market Investment DMCC is a UAE based entity that engages in investment in commercial enterprises. According to Adani Power's disclosures to the Bombay Stock Exchange, Emerging Market Investment DMCC loaned INR 79 billion, US dollar 1 billion to Mahan Energen, a subsidiary of Adani Power. Emerging Market Investment DMCC lists no employees on LinkedIn, doesn't show up through online searches other than its corporate registration, has announced no clients and no deals, and has a luxury residential apartment in the UAE as its official contract address. It appears to be nothing more than a shell. This raises the question, how did Emerging Market Investment DMCC amass $1 billion in capital to lend to Adani Power? The utter lack of evidence of any real operations, the recent founding, and the complete control by the Adani family are red flags for money laundering. Emerging Market Investment DMCC provides a terse explanation on its website where it admits it exists to invest only the funds of our promoter, Mr. Vinod S. Adani. Money in Transaction 3. A cryptic entity controlled by Vinod Adani had an investment of US dollar 85 million in an Adani private entity with no disclosures of the related party nature. The money appears to then have been directed to listed Adani Enterprises along with other private Adani entities. Another entity in the Adani Group private real estate empire, Adani Estates Private Limited, Adani Estates, received a US dollar 85 million investment from an offshore Vinod Adani entity, Vadodara Investments. List of debenture holders of Adani Estates Private Limited as on 31st March 2020. Vadodara Investments Limited, 33 kilometers, 4th floor office, number 401-1051, Nicosia, Cyprus. Number of debentures 6 crores 09 lakhs 45,698. Percentage of holding 100%. Folio number 1. Adani Estates Private Limited. Disclosure source. Vadodara Investments was formed in Cyprus in April 2012. Cryptic corporate records list its directors as Vinod Adani and Subir Mitra, head of the Adani Private Family Investment Office. Despite the family connection, we found no disclosure that Vadodara Investments involved a related party. Adani Estates reported 10 types of related party transactions in its 2021 annual report and previously had receivables from Adani Enterprises as per its 2020 report, indicating that it directed value to or otherwise transacted with Adani Enterprises. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, give your comments, and thanks for watching.